Happy Wednesday, everybody. Sorry I missed our Taco Tuesday. Hope everybody had a good one. Let's take a look at some of our charts here. I'm going to share the screen. Before I do that, I forgot about our heat map. We got the heat map ready to go. Let me share the screen with that. Here's the heat map, mostly up. It's been a while since I've had a show. The market had a follow through day. This is the third. We're hoping that the third time's the charm. Consumer defensive are down, except for Eli Lilly. Healthcare is down. Energy is down with oil prices dropping. Consumer cyclical, kind of a mixed bag. Financials, kind of flat. Utilities are down. Basic materials are up. So that's that. And I just wanted to show our annuities sample. I would say 85 to 90% of people should be in an annuity. Annuities step up, you never lose money, it always goes up. Whereas index investing is volatile, moves up and down. For the stock market pricing, as you can see, annuity average beats index average investing by about 5%, 12.58%, 7.57%, and currently annuities are giving bonuses of 40 to 45%. So there we have it. And now let's take a look at our screen. This is why the market bounced. The 10-year Treasury has collapsed. Will it come back? That's a big question. It went up to nearly 5% and has fallen to 4.5%. Let's get this to work. Here's the 20-year. Resembles it almost identically. Went up to 4.5% and now it's dropped to under 3 down to 3.77%. Let's look at the dollar. Dollar has pulled back quite a bit, tried to bounce here, gapped up. We'll see if it fills that gap. See how gold has reacted in the meantime. Surprisingly, gold tried to move higher and is fallen off. Silver, much the same thing. Wondering if they're thinking of a recession. Let's take a look at copper. That really has gapped down big time. Yeah, that's this Arrow copper. At one point was 24.38 and now it's less than half. 11.99. Southern copper kind of holding steady. Report McMoran has been on a big downtrend. It's below all of its moving averages. This is 20, this is a 50, and this is 200. So let's take a look at our news, see what's happening. Credit card debt has reached an all-time high of 1.08 trillion as balances are up 154 billion year over year, the largest increase since 1999. Delinquencies are up as credit card debt hits record pricing here, or record debt. Continued rise in credit card delinquency rates. It's broad-based across area, income, and region, but particularly pronounced among millennials and those with auto loans or student loans. Japanese manufacturers' business confidence improved for the first time since August. Israel said its troops have entered the middle of Gaza's main city as they continue their offensive against Hamas. Fed Governor Lisa Cook said a worsening of geopolitical tensions, including those involving Russia, the Middle East, and China, could trigger broad negative spillovers to global markets, including higher inflation. Now, here's some earnings to look at. Cody, it's amazing because their estimate was 17 cents and they only got 9 cents, and still they rose. Revenues rose 18% year over year. Take a look at Dutch Brothers, quarter three adjusted EPS, 14 cents versus estimate 7 cents. And that looks just like Cody practically. Isn't that amazing? eBay, quarter three adjusted EPS, $1.03 versus estimate $1. Initially gapped down, and then it fought the good fight to come back. Grocery Outlet, quarter three adjusted EPS 31 cents versus estimate 21 cents, holding pretty flat there. Lucid Group, quarter three EPS loss 28 cents versus estimate of 35 cents. It beat the Fuse, but it's still gapping down. Rivian, quarter three EPS $1.44 loss, estimated $1.32 loss. Tried to move up and then sold off after bouncing after 200-day moving average. Real, quarter three adjusted EPS 15 cents versus estimate 26 cents. This is a loss, 15-cent loss versus estimate 26 cents. And it gapped up big time. It's all about beating expectations. Sleep Number, quarter three EPS 10-cent loss versus estimate 17-cent gain. And yes, we have a big gap down. Down 30% practically. On to energy, Array Technologies, quarter three EPS 21 cents versus estimate of 11 cents. You look at the big sell-off. People are just not happy with it. They were expecting much bigger earnings on Array Technology. Devon Energy, quarter three EPS $1.65 versus $1.57, and it's selling off 2.5%. Oxy, quarter three EPS $1.18 versus 84 cents. It gapped up and then sold off. The 200-day moving it down. Oil prices dropping probably had a big deal to do with this. And Shoals Technologies, quarter three EPS 20 cents versus 15 cents in the solar area. We did not look at oil prices. Oil States International is not what I was looking for. USO is, and here we can see two gap downs in a row. Huge gap down yesterday, filled off the oil stock rally. And let's move on to financials. H&R Block, EPS loss $1.05 versus estimate of $1.12. Gap down and then fought the good fight. It actually went up almost 1%. Jack Henry and Associates, JKHY quarter one EPS $1.39 versus estimate $1.32, and this really beat expectations, gapping up. Legal Zoom quarter three EPS 4 cents versus estimate 9 cents, and once again it's moving up. Earnings came in at a 200% increase, 34% surprise. Marketa quarter three EPS 10 cents versus estimate 9 cents, and is bouncing off of its 50-day moving average. I did not mention at the top, but anything we discuss is for information and education purposes only. If you do not know your financial situation, you want to check in with us, we'd be happy to assist you. But once again, for information and education purposes only, need to do your own due diligence. Robinhood brokerage quarter three revenues 467 million versus estimate of 478, and it's dropping like a rock. Not what people expected. Upstart Holdings as well, dropping like a rock. Rocket ship, what have you, down 27%. Quarter three loss 5 cents versus estimate loss of 2 cents. On to healthcare. Cytech Biosciences quarter three adjusted EBITDA 3.72 million versus estimate of 1.29. And amazing, doesn't get a reaction. DaVita quarter three adjusted EPS $2.85 versus $2.02. Gaps up and continues higher. 97% earnings increase. Gilead quarter three adjusted EPS $2.29 versus $1.92, and people were expecting much more. Earnings are up 21%. Then we got a big gap down. It closed on its high of the day. We'll just see if that inspires anybody will continue buying. And it didn't inspire medical systems as it dropped 20%. Quarter three adjusted EPS 29-cent loss versus estimate of 58 cents. That's a huge beat, but not big enough. Minervini Life Sciences quarter three EPS 5 cents versus 1 cent, actually 5 cent loss, down 32%. SEMO quarter three adjusted EPS 63 cents versus estimate of 59 cents, up 3.71. Pet IQ quarter three EPS 42 cents versus 2 cents. Tried to move up, and then heavy selling moved in, even though the earnings were up 1,000%. And now we move into industrials materials. Axon, big holding for Warren Buffett. Looks like we got a breakout here and a 70% earnings increase, $1.02 versus estimate of 76 cents. NOVIX quarter three gap EPS loss 19 cents versus estimate 23 cents. It's gapping up. GXO Logistics, which was a rollout of XPO a couple of years ago. Quarter three EPS 55 cents versus 66 cents, and it moves up on that news, even though it missed. Mercury Systems quarter one adjusted EPS 24-cent loss versus 18-cent gain, and it is gapping down, falling on its low. Mosaic quarter three adjusted EPS 68 cents versus 75 cents, and it's up slightly at 2.63%. Spirit Aero Systems files automatic mixed shelf, and investors did not like this as it gapped down. Iron ore on China's Dalian commodity change ended daytime trading at 1.03% higher at 935 won. or $128.46 a metric ton. Under technology, media, and telecom, ACAM looks like it's trying to break out. 29% earnings increase. Bumble, Q3 revenue, 275.5 million versus 277 million, still is up about 3%. Bumble and Coupang are recent IPOs. Coupang out of Korea, Q3 EBITDA, 239 million versus estimate of 311, and it's dropping very heavily. Online retail platform trying to copy Amazon. Kyndryl Holdings, KD, Q2 adjusted EPS 62 cents versus 65. And look at this. This is gapping up. What a move. A lot of buying coming into this. 96% relative strength. It's at a new high, even though we don't have a blue dot. Something to keep your eyes open. You might want to see if this is a pullback. We like to buy on 21-day. This is a green line. A bounce off of that. So whatever works for you, this is just a suggestion. Power integrations down about 7%. Take-Two Interactive shares rise on a report. Rockstar Games plans to announce the next highly anticipated Grand Theft Auto game early as this week, gapping up and then sold off and fall on its low. Toast restaurant credit card processor gapping down big time, down 14%. Meta is in the news, said starting in 2024, advertisers will have to disclose when artificial intelligence or other digital platforms are used to create political, social, or election-related advertisements on Facebook and Instagram. So marginally, let's take a look at the big stocks. It looks like Microsoft is breaking out. This is what I talk about on pulling back to the 21-day, gapped up, pulled back to the 21-day, and then bounce. This would be an ideal place to buy. As it bounced here, continued up, or you could buy off of the high of this gap up. Apple is trying to bounce. So we have the first one, second one, the third one, see if this holds. We had some other earnings, Kava, which we had been talking a lot about. Earnings were pretty strong, up 160%. But as we've seen earlier, the market doesn't like it. So 1,521% earnings surprise. Wow. I had bought 600 shares, and I have bought another 500 of Kava at this point. We'll see if it creates a double bottom. If it goes below the 29.05, probably would sell half, or I may put on a put. We shall see. BLTE, which we've been showcasing. Looks like we had a breakout. Could move over here, and here's a breakout. It's continuing higher. After hours, it's up to 39.41. It sold off $1.41, recovering some of that. About 2.5 months ago, we showcased GLSI in a tight pattern that would need to resolve itself, and it resolved itself lower. Couldn't tell if it was going to be lower or higher. And it was in this kind of channel. Sold off, went down to 889, then to 870. And then we had a huge pop a couple of days ago, and now we got a drop. Will it continue to drop, or is there some buying in here? I know the CEO has been buying shares, I believe, in September. So this is something to keep our eyes on. Go back to look at NVIDIA. Continues to rise. Looks like we get a double bottom forming. We'll see if it gets to 476.19. That would be a buy area. Netflix continues to rise. It's pretty lopsided double bottom, but it is a double bottom. 485 to 398, back to 453.45, then pulled back down. If it gets to 453.55, this would be a buy area for people marching off of the O'Neill categories. Google is trying to bounce back up, but this almost looks like wedging, as it's low volume, wedging up to a high. I would want to see a lot bigger volume. Saw this big selling volume over here, and we can't get any buying volume. And I'm not sure if did we look at Microsoft? Yes, we did. Amazon trying to move up, possibly pull back to the 21-day for the bounce would be another good buy area. So let's take a look at what has been trending today. Oh, before we do that, let's take a look at a crypto area. Wow, Ethereum broke out, gapped up here, had a pullback to its 50-day bounce, and is continuing higher. And Bitcoin, it looks like it's in a channel area. Let's see if it's going to break out of this area. Looks like it broke out yesterday, pulled back a little bit today. Continue to watch that. And we did not look at our VIX, our fear index. Fear index has fallen number of days in a row, kind of like when the market has gone up in a row. I think it's due for a bounce. And look at the SPY. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 days in a row. RSP doesn't look quite as healthy as a heavy-weighted S&P 500. Here's the NASDAQ. Here's the follow-through day right over here, where we got the heavy volume. So this is a breakout. Then it gapped up the next day, and it just continues up. It looks like it's due for a pullback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row. I would think that for that many days in a row, there would be a pullback. So let's look at equal weighting. Doesn't look as good. So the big cap, mega caps are really propelling that forward. IWM bumped its head on the declining 50-day moving average and is pulling back to the 21-day. See if we get a bounce here. And the Dow Jones moving up. We got a double bottom. It cleared this double bottom and it's pretty tight over here. Let's take a look at some of our trending ETFs. Financials, double bottom, broke above the 33.94, so that'd be 34.04. We'll see if it can bounce back again. There's a weakness, energy dropping below all moving averages. Here's where Google and Meta are. Remains pretty strong. At a double bottom. We'll see if it can get above to 68.98 with some volume. Real estate rebounding with the Treasury bond yields pulling back. XBI, biotech, tried to move up and is pulled back. Same with IBB, very similar. Our software group, yeah, they have a double bottom here, and it looks like they just cleared that today. Yep, 358.46. Technology, very similar. You'd almost say it's a triple bottom, and it is cleared. It's part of the double bottom, the triple bottom, not quite. Our semiconductors, looks like they got a double bottom as well. Just need to get to 154.16 on some volume. Our industrials, got a double bottom, need to get above 104.02. Building materials, it's kind of an ugly chart, gapping up, gapping up, gapping down. They need to tighten this up. This becomes pretty ugly when you have wide and loose formations like this. They tend to fail. Metals and mining, once again, kind of wide and loose formation here. Tighten up. And our home builders gapped up, had a pretty strong move off the declining 10-day, at above the 21 and the 200, and now it's above the 50. I want to see this tighten up a little bit, but you'd kind of expect that with treasury yields dropping like they've been doing. So without further delay, let's kind of look at areas of strength. Look at some of them in our news of the day. Celsius, don't really have a double bottom, so we'll see if it can continue the right side of its base. Ryan Airways, got a lot of strength here after their earnings, up 51%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is of heavy buying. We'll see if it can continue or if it has a pullback. HubSpot went up here to 581. Bought it at 395, and I believe I sold it at 495. And I actually did sell some right over here. and then sold the rest as it came down. I believe it was this day, 495. We'll see if it's coming back. We'll take a look at the other now. Service now looks pretty strong here. 49% earnings increase. Oh, it's the strength new high gets the S&P 500. The CRM doesn't look as healthy. Datadog, huge move on its earnings yesterday. They were up 96% to 32% earnings surprise, largest volume since this base. Let's see if it can continue up or if it has a little bit of a pullback. Sterling infrastructure had gapped down and it's trying to move back up. We'll see if it gets any buying volume. Duolingo, recent IPO, got a double bottom here. And we'll see if it can tighten up. We've got some wide and loose moves, which don't really work out that well. And see, Live Nation had a big sell-off, and now it's working to tighten up and build a proper base. There's a double bottom here, down to 78.63, and then an undercut over here. So it needs to get to 88.23 with some good volume. We got Web Maker and the software group. Pretty long volume. Got a double bottom here. Here's the first leg down, and here's the second. We have some pretty good buying as of late down here. We just need to see this relative strength line improve and possibly take out this low. And we have one more. Motorola Solutions breaking out here, up 1.38%. Huge buying over here. There was one more software stock I wanted to profile here. See if I can bring it up. It's Mongo DB. I guess we put an M in front. It's working on a consolidation here. Huge volume here. Over here. Kind of dropped off today. So it looks like software is pretty strong. And Uber broke out yesterday. Pulled back a tiny bit today, but not doing too bad. 116% earning increase. Just kind of compare it to Lyft, see what Lyft is doing. Not as much, but their earnings are today. I believe it's today. Let me double check what the day is. It is today, and let's see if I can find out anything else here. not too much information. Maybe it'll be in the morning, so we'll check back. 12-year target is $12.30. So we'll check back there. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only after the market closes. We're not always mornings, but we're always thinking about you in the mornings. Hope everybody has a great day.